Good morning, and good morning. Okay, it's 9:02. The dog needed to go out. The dog doesn't do my schedule. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. When I want him to go out, he won't go out. But this morning he had to go out. So I apologize for that 2 minutes. But anyway, I say good morning to you. Hope your day went well yesterday. Your night was even better. You got a good night's rest. I'm praying that that's what happened. And so today we are going to discuss CON. And it's so funny because I was watching a show last night, and it was about a con, knowing them, understanding them, and being totally taken off guard. You fall in love with what they do for you, what you think is being done for you until you realize how wrongly you've been done. And so that's what our discussion is today, just to talk about the fact that we sometimes become prey. We become prey based on somebody's way of dealing with us. And they think that we have something that they want. It could be status, it could be money, it could be possessions. A lot of times we don't know why people come to us. Um, and do all the things that are what I call negatives. They're just absolutely negatives. There's no reason for them. Good morning, Miss Jones. How you doing, my friend? So I always am amazed when I used to talk with a lot of women as a counselor, and they would say, who they married, or who they went with for a long time, or who they thought they worked with, and who was their friend, and who basically did some things which were not good, which were not good towards them. And the result was that they lost money, that sometimes they were hospitalized, sometimes they were, they lost property. You just never know. So, and they're talking about now, this is a time, especially if you've had any kind of major things happening in the area, such as like the hurricane. Doing well, thank you. Good, 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 good. Good, Joan, that you're doing well. And so we worry about, are we being taken advantage of? And I remember when Ivan came, everybody, probably half of the area was taken advantage of. And I'm quite sure the same thing happened in New Orleans or in New Jersey, wherever people could ride in and say, hey, look, I can, cut that tree down. In fact, that's what they were offering me. These two men were offering to cut down a tree. Now, the tree had lasted through Ivan, through, Dennis, through everything that came through here. Michael, everything came through here, including Sally. And it just had a branch that was kind of hanging down. And they said, well, we can take that tree down for $2,000. And then we can go around and we can spruce up everything and make the property look really, really well. And we're just real excited to be able to do this for you. But in fact, we'll give you a break. We'll make it $1,990. Well, guess what? You know what? I was born a while ago, but not yesterday. I said, they must be crazy. So my neighbor just so happened to come over. And so I saw him near the edge of the driveway. I said, hey, so and so, come on over here. And so he was trying to tell them what he thought. And so the neighbor said, I think that's too high that you would be charging anybody that. He said, I am, an accountant, and one of my accounts is with a tree service. He said, so, you all aren't even from here, are you? And they said, oh, no, we're from South Florida. So there you go. So sometimes you have to understand that your money, your property, your life, anything close to you may be in jeopardy just by the fact that there's cons out there. There's somebody waiting for you. Somebody just absolutely waiting for an opportunity to take advantage. And so I had to go and find a poem that talked about the con. And this one is by Trent Vonick or Vonek. Good morning, Carla. And it says, the con and the conned. And sometimes we're not the con, but we're certainly been conned by somebody. They're getting something from us, something out of us, just by being in our presence, and sometimes even closer, all up on us. But anyway, this was published in 2008. And yes, I found it on the internet. And it says, the con and the con, the greatest schemes go unseen. Hidden behind a deceitful smoke screen, they wait. Let me turn the page. It says, luring the innocent to a darker fate, of which they cannot perceive. For the illusion they live in begins to weave, and although they try to leave, they cannot. Because the maze they have traversed is part of a plot meant to make them become something they are not, a plot only attempted by those most bold, a plot only for those immune to the dark and the cold. And as always, they are in it for the gold, which comes ever faster from the perfected art that leaves them rich, but a world apart from the simple beauties free from disguise. They accept this loss for a chance to devise. Why they do this, no one can surmise, but it is this strange and warped mentality that wills them to conspire and alter reality. So it's altering your reality. So, when something seems like it might be too good, it might be just too good. It might not be right at all. And the con that was on last night showed a woman who was a well-known journalist in New York City, had a great job, was a single parent, was a divorcee, and her husband ended up still dying from brain cancer. But she was just taken in. It was woven. He wined her, he dined her. He was a surgeon in Europe, and said he had all of these famous clients, and that he put in artificial lungs and esophagus, an artificial esophagus. So he had just made it where everybody thought that this was just such this wonderful man, and everyone was in awe. Well, at the end, not only did he stand her up at the altar, they didn't even get to the altar, but she was in the process of gowns, and he told her she needed 4 gowns, and she needed, they were going to be married by the Pope. Well, both of them were divorcees, so okay. Anyway, it was just horrible. It was just horrible. I felt really, really bad for anyone. I would feel really bad for anyone that ends up falling into a con's web, because that's exactly what it is. It is a web. It's a web of lies. It's a web of distrust. It's a web of love, because you love them, but they love what you have more, whatever that is. Whatever that is. And I said it could be your status, your money, your possessions, something. So it's something. So when we get into what a con, when we talk about cons, let me ask you this question. Are you stuck? Periodically, we're all going to be stuck. Every single one of us. We're going to be stuck with people that try to take advantage of us. And sometimes we fall victim. Not intentionally, but most likely based on just our kindness, our loveness, our willingness to just be a part of their lives. And so we fall and we fall and we fall until we wake up. And sometimes we wake up and it's startling that we fell for such a game. But a con, it says, it's persuade someone to do or believe something, typically by use of a deception. That's what a con is. And I didn't realize that Con was the first book that was ever published on a confident man, was published in 1857 by Melville. So Herman Melville. So, that'll just tell you that this has gone on through history. It's not anything new that someone may fall absolutely victim to people taking advantage. And let's see, 3 years ago, I was a editor on a book, and it was called The Confident Man, which is kind of like the same title. And I didn't know that confident in this instance, which con is a derivative of confident, meaning that they are so sure of themselves. They know what they're going to do. They know they're going to get you. And they're going to be good at it. And so the victimization becomes you. You don't even realize you're in a web because they wine you and dine you and they take your mind off of the things that they are doing, which is terrible. But anyway, to really look at what this deception is all about, it's a swindle. It's a defraud, a cheat, a trick, a fleece, a dun, it's a dupe. It's a deceive, to deceive somebody. It's a rook. It's to exploit, to squeeze, to milk, to bleed, to fool, to take advantage of, to mislead. It says a lot of times they are hoaxes. And I know the movie in Malcolm X talked about you've been hoodwinked. And, a lot of people understand what hoodwinked is. They understand that. Bamboozled, strung along. It says they've been done, they've been stung, they've been diddled and fiddled, they've been ripped off. All these things speak to what cons do to other people. Good morning, T. It says they've been basically pulled a fast one on. Somebody did it. Or they pulled a fast one. Or they bilked them. And then, of course, it's bunco. So all those things speak to really what conning does. It's also a hornswoggle. I always like that word, hornswoggle, and sharp and mullet. So all these things speak that a con is a dangerous person. And they come smiling. They come with flowers. They come with bottles of wine. They come with, money, wine and dining and fancy cars and, expensive dinners. They come with a lot of things and sometimes they can come on a smaller scale now too. They can come on a smaller scale. They can come anyway. But it is definitely a wolf in sheep's clothing. But we don't know. We become victims. We just become victims. So anyway, when we break the word down, we want to talk about con, which is confident. It comes from being confident. They are not worried about you. And they got the family roped into. Everybody's in to make them look really good, really well. And, it'd be a ring, it'd be this. In fact, I think the ring last night, the man gave this journalist was said to be $100,000. And when she went and had it appraised, when she finally caught on that something was going down wrong, it was worth maybe $1,000. That's it. And then finally she catches him. I think I want to say it was in Spain, Barcelona. She caught him in Barcelona, okay? Doing his thing with a whole different family that wasn't his wife. So once again, that was his profession. And I think a lot of times people get a rise. They get excited as to what they can get away with. That's the same thing with killers. A lot of times they say killers will kill again, only because the rise comes the fact that they've got away with it. They got away with it. And it's hard for them to catch even a because a serial killer, they intend to do what they do, but they're long about doing it, long in the tooth about how they're going to go about getting what they want. But when we talk about confidence, we're really talking about the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, period. They can just rely on it. They're confident that if I say jump, she gonna jump. If I say I need a new car, he's gonna get me a new car. That's the way it is. So there's a trust, a belief, a faith, a credence, a conviction of I will, it's going to happen. It's a reliance and it's a dependence, but people fall for it. They fall for it all the time. It is the way to go. So really, when you think about a confident person, now, the confidence isn't just used, in this instance, is used in a negative way, but to be confident in what you do, how you carry yourself, what you're all about, that's good confidence. This confidence is used in the negative because they're confident enough about making you turn over anything and everything that you have to them. You hear about so many scams going on now where people are told, well, you've won the lottery. And in order for you to get access to the lottery, you need to send $1,000, and then we'll send you $30,000. That that's just malarkey. It's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen. And sometimes you see where the elderly have gone down $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 because they've been scammed. And I think one of the recent scams they had in the news was where people were putting money towards the wall to be built, on the border between, the USA and Mexico. And what they found out is that they took in a lot of money, but people were actually using the money that took it in. They were using the money for personal things that they wanted, homes, cars, everything like that, as opposed to really putting the money towards what it was originally, gathered for, so, or collected for. So you just have to be careful. You have to be very careful. The O of con is offense. It is an offense for people to do this towards you, because a lot of times when people step over the line of what is right and what is wrong, they step so far over that it is an illegal action. It's a violation. It is a violation. So it says an offense is a violation or breaking of social or moral rules as well as legal rules. It's a transgression. It's a sin. It says, and it's also an annoyance or resentment. Good morning. Today is Morgan's birthday. Happy birthday, Morgan. Morgan is a great little friend of mine. I have to get her a book. Tell her she got a book coming. But anyway, it is about when you have this offense, it says it's perceived as an insult to or a disregard for oneself or one's standards or principles. So when somebody has done a con job on you, so a lot of times it's a social thing, where people don't come. They got you standing at the altar, they don't show up. Okay? They don't show up. Or they have you where you've given out a lot of money thinking something is happening, and they're gone, and so is the money. These things happen. They've happened to a lot of people, or you get the love of your life only to find out that he's the love of many lives, or she's the love of many lives, because it's a scam. It's a con job. It's a way to get to what they want without having put in just enough where they know where your fault line is. Tell them I love them. Tell them I need them. Tell them I can't live without them. Buy them this, buy them that. Only to find out that they'll tell you, oh, hey, listen, we're going to go away this weekend. Can you put it in your name? I'm having trouble with my money this week. I got a big deal coming in on Friday. I'm going to have your money for you. Friday comes. Okay. So anyway, when we talk about this offense, we're talking about that it being an indignation, something that can form anger in you, and resentment and irritation and exasperation, wrath, displeasure, disapproval, dislike, aversion, and of course, airy. So all of these things really speak to how wrapped around we can get after something has happened to us. We realize that we've been taken advantage of. And you know what? If you can admit it, that you've been taken advantage of, even if it's on a small scale, it is what it is. I'll tell you my taking advantage, where I had, not one, but two people who were going to work in the house. And the first guy said, well, Miss Sandy, I just need a little money to go get the items that you need. Never seen him since. And he was like a brother to somebody that was doing my hair at the time. And they tried to explain it. That was the sister was trying to explain to me. She said, and finally she said, well, you know what, I'll try to help get back that money. She said, but nobody trusts so-and-so, whatever his name was. Nobody trusts him. So you just you never understand that people will do you like that, but they will. And then the second time was when every couple of years I go through this thing where I need to do something in my house. And I found another guy, and he was a referral from a very good friend. For the friend, he did just what the friend wanted him to do. Guess what? The friend was a male, but because I was busy, and there was just my child and I, he got over. He got over, and he was supposed to still do some work, never finished it, and guess what? He said, "Well, can I pay my guys? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I'll be back tomorrow." I've not seen him since. In fact, I saw him out in the street one day, and he said, "Dr. Winborn, you not gonna talk to me?" I said, "You better be lucky that I'm the kind of woman that did not take you to small claims court, because I have what you signed to do. I have how much I paid you, and you didn't do that." So I said, "You will never have good luck. You will never have an opportunity to do right by anybody until you get yourself right." I said, "Because that was a conning job." I said, "Yet and still, the referral was right." I said, "Because you did." He said, "You did exactly what you said you do for him. Then you came to my house and said, I can get over. I don't have to do nothing. I have to do just a little bit." And I said, "And you left me with more work that I had to pay somebody else to do, somebody else to complete." So sometimes you just have to watch out who's saying it and how right are they. And what I learned from that is don't give them a dime until it's completely finished. Unless you agree to do half when they start and the other half when they finish, because that's another thing I know that contractors do that are working in your house. But the last N, the last letter in con is N, and it says to notice. It says you must become aware, and you must become observant. And a lot of times we become trusting. They say, "Hello, how are you? I'm good today, da da da." But you don't go back around and check their work and make sure they're doing something. And in fact, I came in during the time my daughter was here, and but she was upstairs. Good morning, Lois Ann. And she was upstairs, and I just came in the front door, and I was appalled because he had his young children were painting my walls. Well, if I wanted children to paint my walls, my daughter could have done it. Okay? So you see, you never know when you're going to be kind, but that was my con. That was mine. Taught me a lesson. So now I don't pay until the job is done. But anyway, you have to be a person who notices things are going amok. It says the fact of observing or paying attention to something, you have to do it. You must have observational skills. You must make it an awareness opportunity every time you see them. You must be conscientious of it. You must take heed. Take heed. Something ain't right, speak on it right away. It says you must take notes. You must have some regard for what should be considered. What is the consideration? You must have scrutiny. It's like, excuse me, you didn't do this. Get it done, or there's no more money, or you can just you don't even have to come back. And the thing about it is that if it were something done with an agreement and it's not, they don't follow the agreement, then it's small claims court stuff. You can get your money back. It says a lot of them are out there, absolutely, especially with all the roofing that is necessary right now since the hurricanes. That's the other big thing. Also, you says you must take interest in what it is you want done. You must put great thought into it. Be mindful. Good morning, Miss Rosie. You have to be mindful of what you're doing. Understand that there's a period of vulnerability, but you still have to take the chance and detect what you must try to spot. What's out there? Who's in here? Who's going to do something for me? And it says you must just keep your eye on the bottom line. The bottom line is your money. The bottom line is your safety. The bottom line is your property. The bottom line is you. Do not make it where you've just basically turned over everything to somebody that is not going to do right by you. They're just not. They're not. That wasn't their intention in the first place. Their intention probably came in with the idea that I'm just going to do enough, kind of, you know, act like I'm doing stuff. But they're not interested in doing anything. They're not. And they won't. They won't. Eventually, you find out that you're going to have to pay somebody else to do it. And so you pay twice for the same work that you thought you were having done by the first person. So sometimes being as vigilant and I know we're all busy. I know we all are. But sometimes busy does not save you money. It doesn't. It sometimes uses your money because the persons that might be the first ones on deck don't do a good job. And so since they don't do a good job, you end up needing more work to be done to either undo what they did or just do it because they never got around to it. So that's what happens. So here's some questions for today. Have you ever been conned? Come on now. Have you? Good morning, Shayla in New York. I love you. My little niece. So have you ever been conned? If you have, say so. You don't have to tell me what it is. But a lot of times just getting in touch with the fact is this is what I need to look out for, you know. It's what I need to look out for. I need to look out for myself. The fact that everybody that says that they're doing right won't do right. It says try. Oh, okay. You said try to keep records of all transactions. I do, but doesn't mean that they're still not going to do what they plan to do. I love you too, Shayla. It doesn't mean that they're not going to do what they want to do. But anyway, it says, have you ever experienced a con who took advantage of you in more than one way? It could be financially, it could be reputation. So, sometimes they just come on. They come on. And sometimes we make ourselves vulnerable because we're needy. We're needy for whatever we're trying to get. Could be love. It could be, just a position that we want, or we want to be in the presence of somebody. We want to have somebody on our arm, whatever it is, whatever. But we end up being in that predicament. And it says, if so, were they the confident kind? Confident, meaning they knew they had you. They knew it. Good morning. They knew they had you, and that's the way they dealt, because sometimes it could be a smile. It could be, a handshake. It could be something that just went between the two of you that you thought you could trust them, But trust needs to be earned better than a smile. Needs to be earned with better than a handshake. It needs to be earned with more than a short time. You need to put some time in, folks. Put some effort into understanding who they are. And a lot of times people are not going to tell you everything they are. They may be just tell you what you can see, because that's all they give you, what you see. Okay, and then if you were conned, what was their offense that they did? I told you mine. Mine was paying for work that never got done, or it was done shouty. It was just a poor job. Just a poor job. And the last one says, what things do you do that that say that you're an observant and you notice whatever they're doing, that you're being observant and you notice everything someone is doing for you or with you or to you? Because sometimes people say they're coming in 4, but they're really doing 2. They're doing 2. They're not doing 4. It's for themselves. But you are in the balance of them leaving with something that they want of yours. And once again, I said it could be your reputation, it could be money, it could be possessions. I remember living in New York, and there were so many times where, boyfriends, girlfriend kind of things were going on, and the boyfriend would, while the woman went to work, they weren't working, or they said they had different hours. Well, that meant they left all night. Well, one time I remember where the boyfriend came in and backed a U-Haul truck up to the apartment and just took everything in the apartment. So when the the girlfriend really paid attention and came home from work, she didn't have anything in the house. Nothing. Not a couch, not a TV, nothing. Nothing. So sometimes we have to really be protective of ourselves. Not just our heart, but our minds. Our possessions, our going and coming. Who's trying to get close to you for what reason? You know, who's coming to your door? And with the pandemic, can't nobody come to my door that the dog isn't on it, and 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 I don't open my door. I don't care who they are. If they call before, I'll meet them outside if I know who it is. But and then I'm all masked up. I have on all my mask. So you just never know that we just become vulnerable. We become the victims of con artists, and they're good at it. And as I said, sometimes like the person who plays the piano every single day, and they get more and more proficient. Then they move up in what you're hearing from them. And it's the same thing with the con artists. The more they are able to get away with stuff, then the more they're able to hone it, to make it where it works for them. Okay, I say that too. Trust your gut. Red flag alerts. That's right. You know, somebody come, a boyfriend or something, and they can't make Christmas. They can't make, birthdays. They're just not available. They're not available. They're available when they want to be around, but they're not available when you want them to be around. Or take heed. Family never met them. Girlfriends never met them. Take heed. Take heed. There's a reason. There's a reason for all of that. What else are they doing? Probably setting up somebody else. You know, because from what I've gathered and from reading the Confident Man, is that it really has great benefits. You know, money wise and every other way, attention, property, everything comes with it. So it's almost like a glamour job. You know, almost like a gigolo, but you know something they do and do it well. For those of us who would never even think in that direction, we'd find trouble with that, great trouble. But for others, no trouble. They know how to con. They know how to make you the victim of what it is that they do, and how well they do it. Good morning, Donna. And they do it well. And so it ends up that, you know, 6 months in, a year in, you're out of money. You've lost your house. Your car is in, like your house is in foreclosure, and your car is gone because they have it. You just never know that things could happen. And this just doesn't happen to women. Men, it happens to men too. Happens to men too. Good to see you too, Donna. It absolutely is wonderful. Um, I just always, when I used to be, a regular counselor, one of the things that would always amaze me is that, and we all want love. Everybody wants love. That was something that was given to us at birth, is that if someone's nurtured it, then we know what to do with it. But there's others who can take the ability to see love from others, and they use it for their advantage. And they make it where, the money is a problem. Your money, it becomes the problem if they don't get it, or I need this, I need that. And so, we buy into it. We buy into what's being paid for, and when we do it, and how much we pay. And I always hear this person talk about the 80-20, where they pay in 20 and you do 80. And that could be in love ships and friendships and, whatever, work ships. It just happens, And everybody thinks we're on even keel, but it's not true. It should be 50-50. Or for my mother's generation, it was like 90-10. My dad did everything, and it's probably why he left the world early, but he was just a good man. He was just always there for her and everything like that. But we just never know. We never know how we're going to be dealt with, and but we certainly don't need to be conned. And so last night when I saw the preview and I said, "Dag, that's a good area to talk about." Wow, because this is the time. There's so many opportunities for people who are, needing things done, that it starts with somebody coming in and say, "Hey, look, I can do this, I can do that," and people say, "Yeah, you know, um, my yard needs doing, the tree needs cutting, the bushes need to be pruned back, and all that kind of stuff." And they may or may not do it. They may or may not do it. Um, it's just the rule of thumb that if if you don't give them any money until it's done, then you're okay. You're okay. But some people want their money up front. They do, and so that becomes an issue. Wanting money quickly. Um, but I've gotten better where I don't give money out as easily as I used to. And I like to pay by check, but a lot of people that do what they call con work, guess what they want? They want cash. They want cash. Because they don't want a traceable, path. They want it where they can't be traced, where they're making money, but it will not be taxed. It will not be written down anywhere, and it's under the table. So that's the way they handle it. But anyway, I want y'all to make sure that you pay attention to what's going on around you, who's working for you. If you have somebody working, around your house. I know it's during pandemic and not everybody's having anybody in their house, but if you have somebody working around your house, pay attention to them. What are they doing? Are they earning the money that you're paying for them? And then watch those calls that are coming into your houses. You you know, and a lot of times if you try to call them back, they're not traceable. Or when you call them back, then they'll start bugging you again, because when they call, you'll answer the phone because the number will register. So just be careful. We just have to be careful. We have to take care of each other, you know, and saying, "Hey, look, don't come up in here," you know. Yeah, and I know my dog bites because he bit me one day. So I know, and he's not even my dog. I don't know why. That was Freudian. That's Freudian. Thanks, Joan. That was a Freudian slip because it's my daughter's dog. Never let the kids back in the house either. When they come back, they bring crap, and you have a dog and all their crap in your garage. So I'm doing better. I am doing better. But I want y'all to have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be safe. Don't be conned. And, just be careful. Be careful on anything that you're going to do. I love you. I love you. I love you. I will see you for Fridays, whatever I come up with. Let's see what happens. Because I'm always inspired about whatever's going on around me. So let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I love you. Thank you so much for coming. Please share this. I appreciate you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.